Hello and welcome everyone to our talk show, A Sip of Coffee Online with When India. Just 10 days back, we had a session where we talked to Lorraine Lorenzo, who is a COVID 19 survivor. There are many who fought COVID and survived. But then there are also many families who saw a loss of family member in this pandemic time. So if you think you are alone, no, there are many who are going through this sorrowful life and trying to move on with the one of the loved one gone. You might feel that this lingering feeling will remain forever. Today, we have Divya Madhur joining us, and we will be talking about how to cope up with the loss of someone. And we hope her tips will help you to come out from this zone. Divya Madhur, she's an emotional and mental health healer and coach. She helps people to overcome their difficulties, mind blocks, and become their best selves. She's a mother of 9 years old son and two dogs. She's compassionate, empathetic, and kind. She uses her power of storytelling to narrate life and transformation stories which can be related to our everyday lives. The feelings involved, the pain we experience, what it teaches us, and how she used it to be a better person herself. Welcome, Divya. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Vandita, for having me here today. Thank you so much.
So, today's session we will keep a little interactive and we will be open for queries from people who are watching us now.
All right.
So, before we begin, will you like to say anything, Divya?
Yeah,
To our
sure.
viewers?
I'm sorry.
Please go on.
All right. Thank you so much, Vandita. So, for everybody who's listening, our life is a journey of various emotions, various things and experiences that we go through. So, it's not one thing, it's many things that we go through. And when we lose someone, it's not just sorrow that we feel. We could feel betrayed, we could feel angry, we could feel abandoned because they left, we could feel lack of love, we could feel lack of support in our lives. So there are varied feelings that we could be going through when we lose someone. It's not alone sorrow. Yes, sorrow forms a major part of what we are going through. The pain is not something that any of us can comprehend, because you know what pain you're going through when you are going through that phase. But at the same time, I'm here to assure you that coming out of this, healing from this, is completely possible. One. Another is that what you're feeling is completely valid. Even if someone tells you that you shouldn't be feeling it this way, you should feel this way, you should just thank that they were there, all of that. But then if you're not it that is not making you feel better, it's perfectly fine, because what you're feeling is what you're feeling, and your feelings are valid, completely valid, and no one else but you have the right to own your feelings, feel your feelings, and heal from them. And the best way to heal from our feelings is to acknowledge them. A lot of times we keep running away from our feelings, and that's when we don't heal them. We create them into a bigger and deeper and darker wound, which troubles us eventually in life. So the best way is to feel the feelings. If you are feeling lonely, acknowledge that you're feeling lonely. If you're feeling lack of love, acknowledge that. When you acknowledge that, you're able to work on it. It's like knowing that you are hungry. Unless you know you are hungry, you would not be able to eat food, right? It's just the same way. Unless you know what you're feeling, if you're feeling angry that they left you, if you're feeling abandoned, that there's no one to take care of you anymore, then acknowledge that feeling, and that's where the healing and wholeness journey starts. And it's completely, the third thing which is most important is, it's completely possible to feel whole again, all over again. So commit to your healing, commit to your transformation, and that's where all the discovery there is. So that was, I would just wanted to introduce, or say these things before we begin with our questions or any conversation here.
Yes. So, once we announced your session, Divya, we did a survey and we have collected some of the questions which I will be asking you now. And
Okay.
now, as you were just talking about the loneliness, the first question is the feeling of loneliness since they left. Don't want to talk to anyone or make any new connection. Is that normal?
It's absolutely normal. It's completely normal. Please know it is normal. And because this change was sudden, you did not anticipate this, it's difficult to comprehend what exactly happened and what are you going through. So allow yourself to feel that. That's the most important step in moving forward. Loss usually comes because we feel that that love that we were receiving from this person is not available in our lives anymore. And we now seek that love from the soul in different ways. So that is where we feel that the loss is the loss of the person, yes, but it's also the loss of the love that they were providing you in your life, the support and the love that you were getting from them. So what your soul is right now feeling is that loss of love. And loneliness is very normal to feel. So as we tend to offer, so how do we fill that loneliness, or how do we fill that void? We start to offer love to ourselves in the places they were offering us love. So just to take a very simple example, if they were the person who would buy you ice cream, then please go and buy yourself an ice cream. And I'm really taking a very everyday example so that it's relatable. So it's not that experience of having an ice cream has gone. It's just the person who was bringing it to you is not there in your life, but they are through their souls. And they would love and appreciate for you to have that ice cream and still feel that beauty of that experience. So the more you're able to provide the love that they were providing you, the faster your journey of loneliness will stop and you will start feeling whole and complete all over again. And couple of practical tips that can help you. One is journaling. Please write down how you're feeling, because a lot of times in our minds we think a lot of things and we have a lot of crowded emotions. When you write down, when you journal, it helps to clarify and segregate your thoughts. And when you segregate your thoughts, you would see some insights are coming into you from them. And it may not come on day one, it may not come on day two, it may not come on day three, but it will come. So please try and be persistent and consistent over some journaling. Even 2 lines in a day is fine. And if you feel you're not able to write, you don't have that, energy, try and voice record your messages. So you could record your messages. So basically, expression. You have to express what you're feeling inside. The more it is buried inside, it's going to hurt you even more. The more you are able to express, it's going to make life smoother and easier. Another thing you can do is every time go in the mirror. Go to the mirror and look at yourself, and with a hand on your heart, just tell yourself, I got this. And just say it as many times as you want to and tap your heart with this. This is just assuring your heart that the wholeness and the love is all inside of you, because all the love that we seek in our life is inside. And there are people who are mirrors of it. So just assure yourself, stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself, I got this. That's all.
So when you say to journal, it's like it's the our feeling towards the one who has left, or is just what we are feeling right now.
Just everything on mind completely. Completely.
Okay.
Even if it's about the person who's left, or it's about how we are feeling behind, like as we are left behind, anything and everything, it's about cleaning up our minds. That's all. That's all.
Okay. So how long does it take to recover from a loss?
Well, that's very relative. It's really relative. It's each to each his own. Everybody has their own journey. Yeah, the more committed you are to making sure that you would like to feel better, you will like to feel whole and complete, the faster it will get for you, and the gentler and the easier it will get for you. The more you are stuck in that feeling that they have gone and now I'm helpless and all of that, it will be more painful. The more you are focused on that, okay, now that they are gone, what am I learning in my life and what am I now going to do about my life, the faster the recovery can happen. Yes, there is no time period. Some people can recover in 3 months, some people can recover in 6 months, there are people who recover in a year. So it's very relative to each person and how they are. The thing I would say here is, the more you acknowledge your feelings, the faster you get better. So
The more you face it,
yes.
the more it becomes okay.
Okay.
So moving on to my next question. People tell me it's been so long, they live their life and so many other things, but none of that changes what we are feeling. We are totally clueless how to handle such conversations. So it's better to avoid these conversations or better to avoid these people.
Well, first of all, you know what you're feeling, and as I said earlier, your feelings are valid. And anybody who's trying to push or shush your feelings, you'll need boundaries with them. You need to tell them clearly that I am managing, or I am taking care of this emotion, and I'm taking care of this feeling. Your words are not helping me right now. So I would appreciate if you do not come back with these things to me.
Okay.
So it's, if you are able to vocalize, yes, avoiding is a way, but that may just add more stress, because when you're avoiding someone without saying what is going on, then it just adds kind of somewhere guilt or somewhere stress that, all this is happening, they are supporting me and I'm not kind of supporting their choice of supporting me. So it
Okay.
helps to clarify, that you tell the person that, okay, at this point your suggestions are not helping me, please allow me some
Hmm.
time to come back, as I've done. I've worked on my own feelings.
So, Divya, also we got a question. As you are a healer, you are a spiritual coach. Do you talk to soul, and can you help to reconnect with them?
Well, I do connect with souls, and so can you. We are all connected. So we are all part of one. We are all parts of one. It's like a puzzle. Every piece together comes together, and then the whole puzzle is formed. So you can connect as well. And there is a small technique that I can tell you how to connect. Yes, I can be of help, but the best way is when you are connected directly. So, what you would do is, a crown chakra is here, and a crown chakra is about the connection with the divine, with our collective energy. So, with you closing your eyes, you imagine them in front of you, and when you imagine them in front of you, imagine a line that is going from your head to their head, from your crown chakra, because there's a divine connection and soul connection, and then imagine it forming a triangle on top. So that's the divinity connected with both of you as souls, and then you can speak to them. So this is, we can connect as a trio with
Uh-huh.
divinity's living energy, their soul, your soul, and we can then connect and talk to them. And yes, I can be of help. So this was something that you could do yourself, and you could reach out in case you would need any help with that.
And next question is, somehow we blame ourselves that the person is gone, and it feels so bad that we were helpless to help them at that time. How can we change or overcome that feeling?
When someone leaves us who's very close to us, we would want to do everything to save them. We would want to do everything to keep them here, right? So the feeling of feeling guilty that we did not do, or we could not do our best, is very normal, very, very normal, first. And then the other thing is that you did your best already. Please know you did your best already. You loving them, you have already given your best shot. And decisions to leave this body and leave this planet are decisions that are taken by the soul, and they are in a divine alignment or divine arrangement, in terms of universe's choice for us, and our souls, those souls choice for themselves. So even if you may have done something more, the choice would have still remained with that soul, which means that you've already done that you needed to do. You've already been there with them. Now the way to connect to them and be with them is to keep sending them love, keep sending them love, and wish them the very best for the next journey and onwards. Even if you may believe in rebirth or not, but then a soul does have a journey forward. So you could just send them blessings and love as they move forward. That's all.
That brings me to the next question. Um, Heard of soul getting a new body after a year. So for next 1 year, do we feel them?
Okay, so souls getting a body again, like the decision to leave this body or this planet is their decision. Likewise, to take on next life is also their decision. We do not know if it's going to be 1 year only. There are certain rituals that we connect to where we do bursies and all, where we have a 1 year stuff. Some rituals which happen exactly at 1 year from here, but that does not mean that's related to soul's evolution further. Each soul will have their own evolution. So connecting to that soul is always possible because soul remains common across the lives that they go through. So you can still connect to their soul right now, 1 year later, 5 years later, 10 years later. So it's not a determinant of the time here. It's a determinant of the connection between you and them. And it does not have to do with where they are at this point. That soul was a part of your life as love, through love. They will always be a part of your life through love.
Okay. So why do we feel so hollow inside when someone leaves?
When people are there in our lives, so you would have heard of energy in some way at least. We are all formed of energy, and when we talk or when we speak or we meet, when we even like you and I speaking right now, there is an energy exchange that is happening between us. Mm-hmm. This does not need us to be in physical contact also, but our energy exchange happens anytime we meet and cross people. And people who we touch, which means if we've held hands, we've hugged each other, we also have exchanged our DNA information, which means when they leave their physical body, all the energy and the DNA that you exchanged with them and the parts of you that are there with them have gone. Now, as an exercise in the healing, we do this, that we bring back all of that energy which was yours from them. Of course, that's a part of a healing journey. So why you feel hollow is because some parts of your energy and some parts of your DNA information have traveled with them to wherever that soul is right now. And the other hollowness is the lack of love, which we've already spoken about, and how to fulfill that lack of love in life.
So next question says, I am not able to get them out of my mind. It's like I am doing everything, but I'm not present in it. What can I do?
See, being present is also called mindfulness. And mindfulness is an active practice. It's very much like fitness. We cannot exercise one day and say I'm fit for life. Yes. Likewise, mindfulness is also not something that we can practice on one day and say it's done and over with. Mindfulness is something that you get to practice every single moment of your life. So each time when you are, kind of drifting into their thoughts, you can just send them you can just tell them, their soul, that I'm sending you love and I come back to my life right now. I decide to be with myself right now. I'm sending you love. So you are sending them love. You are taking care of them. And then you just tell yourself that I am right now focusing on what is in front of me right now, whatever that may be, a personal, professional, any kind of, life in front of you right now.
So means bring our thought back to the present.
Yes, and that's a practice that happens again and again and again. Because again, like I said, we eat food again and again because our body needs energy, right? Likewise, mindfulness is also something that we do again and again and again, and we remind ourselves. So you can also create affirmation charts that I am present with myself every moment. So you can probably put up an affirmation maybe in your work desk, the place that you visit most. Maybe a lot of people choose to put it in their bathroom mirrors because we tend to use the washroom a few times in the day. A lot of people put it in their mobile screens. So you could use the affirmation that I'm present with myself every moment. And I'm mindful of my choices. So you can create your own words that suit you, because not everybody's words are the same. We have a different way of talking. So hence there is no standard affirmation that can work here. But what feels right to you? That's what you could use.
Keep ourselves reminding it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. So the next question says, my desire to live has gone away with them. How do I handle that?
So what I understand from that is that the feeling of being alive, we all have a life inside us. We mean in terms of the spirit and the joy of life and the excitement towards life. That is what you're feeling, which is missing right now. Right? So it's like you're eating food, but there's no hunger.
Hmm.
The situation will look like this, that you're eating food because it's time to eat, but there's no hunger.
Hmm.
Likewise, you're living, but there's no will to live. So the will to
Hmm.
live will come when you connect with the events and the activities that most connect to your heart. So let's say if walking in nature connects to your heart, then please do that on a regular basis in the safest possible way in this scenario. And if say
Hmm.
maybe journaling, some people connect with journaling because you're able to put out your emotions out there. Sometimes people also connect with things like doing yoga in the morning, so to bring that energy back to yourself, to feel alive again. So the idea is to feel alive. If you feel alive by playing with children, please play with children. Make at least bare minimum of 15 minutes of time to play with children. If you love animals, please make time to play with animals. So idea is to engage in anything that brings you joy and that brings you alive. If you as a child enjoyed drawing, then
Hmm.
please draw. If you as a child enjoyed gardening, please do that gardening. Anything, any activity which connects you to nature, because nature is all
Hmm.
about nature propels life. So anything in nature, away from
Hmm.
technology, as
Okay.
much as you're able to engage in nature, the easier it is to bring that aliveness out. And it is again a practice. It would
Hmm.
be have to keep doing this again and again, and it will get better each time.
Hmm. What can we do if we know some of their wishes were yet incomplete?
Well, that's how we would want to see that, because every soul completes what they were meant to complete in that life. They complete it, and that's the reason why they leave, because their purpose in this life, wherever it was, is completed. So it's like you go to school and you do a certain number of classes, and after class 12 you have to leave school. You can't be in the school unless we choose to keep repeating the class. We can't be in the school. So the point is,
Hmm.
if your work with school is done, it's time to go to college. And probably when time from college is done, then you move on to the next phase of your life. So that's the way a soul works. Soul had to come here in this life to learn certain lessons, to do certain activities, to fulfill some roles and purposes in life, and they completed it and they went off. So they completed what they needed to do. A lot of times we may feel that certain wishes of theirs were not fulfilled because we see it
Hmm.
from a bodily perspective. I mean, I would understand that right now it may be difficult to comprehend this, but yes, in the
Hmm.
now, if I say that maybe I should have had something ABCD in my life, and probably if that's not aligned with my soul, it wouldn't get completed in the lifetime that I'm here for. So it's more to do about this, that what that soul set out on, they have already completed. They have.
So it's just our thought that we feel that it something is still left from their end.
Yes, absolutely. And the other way to do is, if yes, if it is a small things, then we can always send them as blessings and prayers and say that, okay, whatever. So say if there was a wish, you could just say that, we send you now contentment and fulfillment of knowing that all your wishes were fulfilled when you left here from here. So that's a way of sending a prayer. When you send them contentment and fulfillment from your end, rather than being in the feeling that, okay, they left something behind. Because our job is to free them from here. Now that they've decided to move on, our job is also to free
Okay.
them from here. Yeah.
Okay. So, Divya, do you do counseling and therapy too?
I do not do counseling and therapy, but I do healing and coaching. And
Okay.
again, dependent on how someone chooses to engage, these are also ways to heal from all our emotions, our limiting beliefs, and create the lives that we wish to create for ourselves.
So, does any kind of therapy or healing help in these cases?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Quite a lot. I have clients who I'm working with who've lost their family members during COVID. And yes, it helps. Totally helps. Yes.
Okay. And does this suffering of loss make our jobs or our work also suffer?
Anything that we are going through emotionally will impact every area of our life. So I wouldn't say your job suffer really, but then it will be impacted. To the extent you allow
Okay.
it to be impacted, which means if emotionally this is riding very heavily, yes, the suffering, if you feel you're suffering a lot, then the suffering could sprinkle onto the work. So a good way again is to journal and separate out the feeling. and also separate out the work related the expectations and things that you're ready to do. In case possible, please take a break.
Okay. I got one question, Divya. It says, do you speak Hindi also?
Yeah, I do. I speak Hindi. Yes, I do.
So we have
My mother
viewers.
tongue is Hindi.
Yeah. So वो आपसे हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. No problem in that,
हिंदी में
right?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बात कर सकते हैं। मेरी मदर टंग हिंदी है। बिल्कुल हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं।
Okay. I have one more question, Divya. It says, do you only count death of someone as someone is gone? What about divorce? Is it not more painful?
Yes, so that's something that I would say when we talk about loss, loss only does not happen from death. It could happen from separation, breakups, divorces, and sometimes just emotional separation. People may be living in the same house, but they are so emotionally separated. And there is this, we use the word called Cold War. When people are emotionally so separated from each other, that's also separation and that's loss because you, whatever. So at the end of the day, loss is not in the physical sphere that we see the person's, we don't see that body anymore. It's more about the emotional loss. And that's why I've been emphasizing that the loss of love that we are feeling in our life is loss. So, um, so the idea of recovery of loss in every procedure, in every case, will remain recovering from sorrow, recovering from anger, recovering from grief, recovering from betrayal. You know, emotions spectrum may not be different, but reason could be different. Loss is still loss. Loss is still loss. Yes, totally. So even someone losing a partner from divorce, losing a partner from death, disability, everything is a loss. It's complete. And myself a recovered, recovered person from divorce. So yeah, so I have undergone the recovery from divorce and healing and all of that. So yeah,
So healing works in that case also.
absolutely. Till the time the person who's receiving healing is ready to make a change in their life and they're not stuck with how we will do this, it's completely possible to heal and deal with everything.
Okay. So, Divya, as have read about you, you also do group healing. So, I'll just like to know when you do group healing, all the people attending those group sessions are from having the same kind of sorrow, or it's just the sorrow what you are doing healing? It's like some same kind of background or something like that. Do,
So we could look at it in this way that whenever people come together, let's look at it in this way: whenever there is a group, there is always a singular thing that brings us together, right? Even if we gather for office work, we could gather for weddings, we gather for funerals, we gather for an agenda, and whatever it is, people come together for that. Now, when we talk about in the healing circle, when people come together, and if it is a group healing, usually the people who will be attracted to that group at that time will have a similar thing to heal from. So that's based on the fact when it's a general group healing. Otherwise, like right now, this week, I would also be hosting a group healing for people going through losses, like loss of life or loss of people in their life. So that's a group healing which is set out in tone for people who are going through that. However, the general group healings, people usually you would find that people have similar things that they are healing from, and that is why they have been you know called to called to that
yeah,
event at that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, maybe it is just I'll say a sorrow what they are going through and they want to get healed. And the sorrow can be caused because of n number of reasons.
Anything. And more or less, so lack of love, if lack of love is the way we are feeling, so more or less everybody will have a different kind of thing. Probably lack of love from a child, lack of love from a partner, or it could look like a lack of love from parents, or probably a boyfriend or a girlfriend. But more or less, if we are talking lack of love, probably most people will come from various walks of life, from different situations, but their concern will be the same, even when we do general healings, general group healings.
Okay. So I'll like to add up here that as Divya just said, she is hosting a group healing session on 30th July, 6 to 7 p.m. And the charges per person are 800 rupees per person. Group Google form link will be shared where you can register and you can join that healing process. Before we sum up the session, Divya, is there anything you would like to add more for the people here?
I would just say your feelings are valid. Please honor them. Do not invalidate them because someone said your feelings are not valid. They are valid. What you're going through, you know that nobody else is in your place wherever they are. So please honor the fact what you're going through, and the more you face it, the faster you come out of it. And that's all I would say, because the more we hide it, the more we try to, binge watch, binge eat, and probably smoke, drink, and whatever else. It's only going to stay there and get deeper and deeper. The more you're able
Yeah,
to face them, the more you will be whole all over again. And grief, healing from grief is a process, and please know that it is a process. In any way, healing from loss is a process. So please do not haste yourself. Please do not rush yourself into it. It's not a matter of one session, it is a matter of few occurrences, few things that will come into your life, and you will. So there is you opening channels for love to come into your life. Ice cream is one, there could be so many more to come. I
yeah,
mean, that will be
totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. Thank you so much, Divya, for joining us today. And we will get you back if, as our viewers want more questions, then we will get you back on the show.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you, Vandita, and thank you everyone who joined today. Thank you.
Thank you.